Well, funny enough, I was going to talk about the Kevin Durant news and whatever the fudge is going on there. And then I wake up to the news of Roquan Smith wanting out now, pretty much demanding or requesting a trade by the Chicago Bears that if they're not going to get a deal done with him, he's going to want out. He's going to want a trade. So this has been the biggest NFL news coming out of the whole thing. I guess he left a very detailed note message which states to the city of Chicago and all the Bears fans worldwide. I've officially requested a trade. Just writing these words is deeply painful. I'm a kid from Macon County, Georgia. When you grow up playing football, you dream of playing in the NFL one day. However, playing the linebacker position, you never imagine getting drafted in the top 10 by the Chicago Bears. I'm a homegrown Bear, and he put homegrown in full caps. A dream came true for me to have the opportunity to play that put that Bears helmet on, wear that same jersey that legendary linebackers did. It's an indescribable feeling. Walking these hallways the past 4 years, you can feel the spirit. You feel the pressure to live up to that timeless history, that great legacy. I dreamed of playing like Wilbur, Marshall, Singletary, Briggs, Urlacher, Buckus. Since that day I was drafted, I vowed to play the position at a level that upheld the standard that was set before me, to uphold that respect and honor, and I have. Unfortunately, the new front office regime doesn't value me here. They refuse to negotiate in good faith. Every step of this journey has been a take it or leave it. The deal is sent me the deal sent to me is one that would be bad for myself and the entire linebacker market if I had signed it. I've been trying to get something done that's fair since April, but their focus has been on trying to take advantage of me. I wanted to be a Bear for my entire career, help this team bring a Super Bowl back to our city. However, they have left me no other choice than to request a trade that allows me to play for an organization that truly values what I bring to the table. I haven't had the chance to talk to the McCaskey family, and maybe they can salvage this, but as right now, I don't see a path back to this organization I truly love. I hope and pray you all can understand. I'm deeply sorry it has come to this. Sincerely, Roquan Smith. Okay. Roquan Smith. Okay. What are my thoughts on Roquan Smith demanding a trade? Um, 50% of me says I understand. You want to get paid, you want to do this, you want to do that. But another half of me is like, I understand, but let's just see how the season plays out. Let's suit up, play the season. Let's see how you do in Matt Eberflus's defense compared to Chuck Pagano's defense, Sean Desai's defense. I'm not going to say Vic Fangio defense because that's when the defense was actually freaking good. But you guys know what I mean. Now, I'll give you my reasons. The reasons why I say maybe he should play this out. Now, I understand there could be fear of injury. He wants to get paid, so in any event he gets hurt, guess what? His money's not affected. But we have yet to see what he looks like in the position that Matt Eberflus is going to put him in the on the defense, which is pretty much they've already come out and said, Roquan Smith will be playing the same the same position that Darius Leonard or Shaquille Leonard now is playing in Indianapolis, that weak side linebacker pretty much. And guess what? Maybe the Bears want to say, hey, guess what? You have to prove to us that you deserve the contract. Now, if they're going by that logic, then I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they must have not been paying attention to the past 3-4 years, because he's actually been one of the more consistent linebackers. Now, yes, he's gotten hurt across the way and stuff like that, but he's actually been the most consistent linebacker. But hey, I can understand why the Bears maybe are hesitant. Like, dude, you're not an all pro. You haven't been an all pro. You haven't really made the Pro Bowl. So we want to see before we sign an extension to you. And I guess I can understand the Ryan Poles and his staff's point of view. Now, at the same time, I still think it's some negligence of the fact that, you're just going to go to this approach. Now, I don't know if Eberflus is, helping Roquan with this whole situation in terms of, I know he has to focus on the team and everything, but you would think maybe Eberflus being a defensive coach would be like, hey, let's give the guy this money and so he can show up to practice and participate. We don't want to cave and everything. Now, at the end of the day, I will be shocked if the Bears actually do trade Roquan. If Ryan Poles actually straight up trade Roquan Smith away for just a few picks, I don't know if you'll command a first round pick, but you might get a high second round pick or a third round pick for him. But I would think that that's an extreme mistake by Ryan Poles. So this is my side of Bears. Just stop being Ryan Poles, stop being fucking cheap. Just fucking pay the guy and stuff like that. We're gonna have the cap space next year, anyways. Unless that's what he was waiting for next year. Unless his plan is to just freaking overpay, is pay Roquan Smith next year since we have an increased cap space. He doesn't want to do it this year. Whatever. Just sign him to the extension. I think this was just another. I think it's just another tactic. By Roquan Smith to get the Bears to pay him eventually. This is a way to send out this information, and especially the way he sent this out and as a note attachment that he sent out to the public, pretty much, to just let all the fans know, hey, I want to be here, but the freaking front office is not freaking paying me, and we already know that. And see, Roquan Smith is a smart man. He's a smart man, and he knows the fucking public. He clearly has been listening to the radio the last 3 years when the Bears had their downfall after the 2018 season. He knows the fans' frustrations. He knows how pissed the fans are in the front office and the freaking McCaskey or family. He knows this shit. There's a reason why he sent this little note attachment out, because he knows the Bears fans will take his side over the front office, and then you're going to have some fans who still, to an extent, don't trust Ryan Poles' vision. It's going to be like, Ryan Poles, get this mother effer signed to a deal now. Come on. Altogether, the Bears fans really don't have any trust in the front office direction and stuff like that. So Roquan Smith used this as a ploy to freaking put heat on the front office, put heat on the McCaskies, and he made the mention the McCaskies. I haven't had to deal with the McCaskies. Guess what? If he had talked to the McCaskies, he could say, hey, I'm trying to get a freaking deal here, and I'm really valued here. I like this. Maybe he was trying to get the McCaskies to be like, guess what? There's a lot of heat coming from Bear fans. Sign this guy right the fuck now. He's been really good for us. Maybe the McCaskies have to freaking come down and tell Ryan Poles, I don't know why you're not signing this guy, but come down and sign this guy, because that's the dude's boss. So maybe that's another ploy I didn't even think about too. Maybe the McCaskies don't like getting all this heat and stuff like that, and maybe George just walks down to Ryan Poles' office and be like, hey, listen, I understand to trust your plan, but this is something we need you to do. Just extend Roquan Smith right now. We don't need all this heat on us for no reason. And I don't think the McCaskies want any bad heat on them. This is just a bad heat ploy. So the fans can turn on the front office, continue to turn on the front office and still be vocal that they need to sign Roquan Smith. They need to extend him. Now, I think he's going to eventually get extended. The same thing happened to Deebo Samuel. He ended up getting extended. That was the last player that was holding out. Tim and DK Metcalf was the last player holding out into training camp and stuff like that. And then, they ended up getting signed. But this isn't long. They put him on the PUP list, and it was just a way to say not have him lose any money for missing out training camp practices. And you would think they would have been using this time to work out a deal, but I don't know. Apparently, Roquan has no agent. It's pretty much his family it's him and his family that are negotiating a deal with the Bears, which, dude, get a fucking agent, bro. Get a fucking agent. Just get an agent. Your family should have nothing to do with your negotiating, details and stuff like that, because guess what? They're going to want a contract that's going to benefit everybody in the family. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, this is professional business. your parents, your family should have no negotiations in this professional business. That's another thing where it's like, I'm like, I don't like that. Get an agent that is willing to understand your market, your worth, your thing, and he's able to negotiate a contract with you and stuff like that. I don't know what Ryan Poles. Now we don't know. Maybe they have talked. Maybe, like I said, talks have stalled, and Roquan Smith is looking for a contract that maybe Ryan Poles just doesn't view him in. Maybe Ryan Poles sees Roquan Smith getting a big contract, but maybe it's not the contract that Roquan Smith wants. I don't know. Um, all I'm gonna say is Roquan Smith is gonna be paid like a top 3 linebacker if he gets paid by the Chicago Bears. Now, I understand some people can say that's debatable because hey, he hasn't made any all pros yet. He hasn't really, I think the only all team NFL team he's made was second team. And then he hasn't made any Pro Bowls yet, and stuff like that. I mean, I know he's gotten snubbed a couple of times, but at the end of the day, he still hasn't made those teams. He hasn't made an all-pro team. He hasn't made the Pro Bowl. He hasn't made NFL all NFL first team, and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's a scrub, but and I'm not saying he has nothing left to prove. He definitely deserves the money he wants. It's going to be very interesting. And again, like I said, I think I made a mention of it earlier in another video. I find it very intriguing that all of a sudden now he wants to get paid when we ultimately need to be focusing on the offense and making improvements to the offense, not really the defense, and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I think the Bears got to pay Roquan Smith because he's pretty much the heart and soul of the defense. And if you get rid of him, well, then I don't know. I don't think it will be a good decision. And Ryan Poles will not be looked very likely or liked here. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. I'll just say that. It's not a good look by the Bears front office. And the fact that apparently, from what Roquan says, they're doing nothing in their power to pretty much do a deal. And if it's the type of thing where he said in his note, here, take this offer, otherwise leave it. Then that's a failure on Ryan Poles' part, because even if you're gonna go by that logic, you should, at the end of the day, you should still come back and say, okay, if it's not the drill, we'll come back the next day, we'll see what a deal is and stuff like that. Or maybe you get his ideal numbers of what he wants to get paid, and then you say, how about we meet this in the middle? Something like this. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see where this goes. I'm hoping Roquan Smith don't get traded. I really do not hope Roquan Smith gets traded. But if he gets traded, well then I don't know what the fuck Ryan Poles is doing. I really don't know what Ryan Poles is doing. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, Bear fans. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this Roquan Smith news. Do you think Roquan Smith will get paid? Will Ryan Poles and the front office actually be dumb enough to trade him away for probably a pick and stuff like that? So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see where this is gonna go. Yeah, don't know what to say. I will be doing a Chicago Bears versus Kansas City preseason game #1 week recap and stuff like that. It might come out a little bit later because my Saturday is pretty freaking hectic. Thank goodness the Bears, I believe, play on Thursday next week because I'm actually going to the Chargers preseason game in preseason week 2. I'm just going to go see a freaking football game. At the same time, I'm also want to see how nice SoFi Stadium is up in there because I heard good things, and I got tickets last night to go to SoFi. But other than that, look forward to that and stuff like that. But other than that, catch you guys in the next video. Until then, guys, peace.